I do in binary. This is mjkk613.14. Unofficial pi through my eyes. And this is a third part of this one. It's done. And I'm also a mod in English chats mjkk613. Okay. And I've done them back to back to back. Otherwise, you know me. You know me. I'll go off on a different tangent. Okay. In-app transfer pilot was getting ready to start. Okay. Now let's back up just a little bit. Okay. So after those first 3 days, and built a security circle, and because the people that we have invited, we have filled those first 3 roles. We've built a security circle, we are, for all intensive purposes, earning pi as a pi miner. The way pi classifies its miners, we are earning pi as a pi miner. Yes, it's running on an emulator, so it's not new pi. It's not this. It's not mining. You're right. It's not mining. It's on an emulator. It's on an emulator. We are emulating being pi miners. How hard is that to understand? That is what core classifies as pi miners. All the roles are necessary. All the roles, and that includes node, but it's basically the first 3 are pi miners. Okay. We fill the security circle. The security circle is doing what it's supposed to, wherever it's supposed to be doing it. Okay, we're pushing the button every day, showing we are active. That's all that's in the white paper. Provide and contribute to the day. Okay. Security circle and providing in to the day. All right. To show that this is what it is. Okay. Base mining rate. Mining rate. Okay. Base mining rate at this point in time is 0.2. Right? 0.2. We get 0.1 for Pioneer. With a contributor with a 5-person security circle at 100%, we get another 0.1. Those 2 roles make up base mining rate, 0.2. Now, that is whatever that rate, that base rate, once we are being emulated, we're still emulated. Once we cross over to phase 3, whatever the base mining rate is for doing the same thing, pushing the button once a day, being active and contributing once a day, whatever we are earning on whatever the base rate is on the hourly rate, multiply it by 24 hours, and we will get that put in our wallet. The counter will be gone. There will be no more push a button, watch the counter scroll up and whatever it is. Okay. Push a button, wait 24 hours, and that amount of pi will be put in our wallet. That's mining rate. And reading in the white paper for contributing and participating, whatever the wording they use, we are rewarded as miners. Newly minted pi. You understand? Do you understand? It's not pre-minted. It's newly minted pi once a day. How hard is that to understand? If we are, as a pioneer and a contributor, contributing with the security circle, our security circle is strong, we are here, we push the button, we've shown the protocol, we are here. We are contributing to the security of our network. And because of our invites and our referrals, that role, I don't know, maybe it helps show that we're participating in active that day. But we filled those 3 roles. That is what a pi miner is. being emulated right now. Right now. We make the transition to phase 3, stage 2. The emulator gets, at the start of phase 3, when core honors our wallets, our Pi earned, and the emulator shuts down, well, if the emulator is shutting down, that means it's not being emulated anymore. That means it's running off the protocol. It can, it's Stellar. Stellar has to pre-mint all this other stuff. Okay, you don't need to worry about what Pi is going to do at phase 3. Core's already figured it out. They've already done it. No. You know, I don't know what else to tell y'all. I really don't. I know you're protective of what you're protective of. How can Pi be Pi, doing what Core has written? If Pi is doing what Core has written in the white paper, then that means there's more to Pi protocol. That means there's more to Pi program than what you're assuming or putting out or trying to whatever. I know y'all smart people. I know y'all smart people. Okay? I know. We've been there. We've done it. I know. You know, I mean, I'm sure most of you have a pretty good idea. Okay? Core has stated, well, at least that I know, maybe just inside the month, I don't know, that Core chose Stellar for its capabilities. You ought to say thank you instead of complaining about. Okay? Out of all the other protocols that are out there, and I know you don't believe in Core and you don't trust them and you think they're full of shit and whatever it is. I hope when all is said and done you apologize to them. I really do. Because they earned it. And they deserve it. Core had chosen the base protocol for the nodes to run blockchain. Okay? You want to say it's running Stellar blockchain? Say it's running Stellar blockchain. I don't give a shit. It's the most. Core felt this is the most advanced blockchain technology out. And that's what they are using for Pi. Now, from what I understand, Stellar is totally centralized. Their server banks and nodes are centralized, and there's limited, and whoever is running a node had to pay to get the node, and there's a big corporation. Okay? The only thing that's decentralized in Stellar is the ledger. That's it. And that is the only thing that's decentralized in any other project out there. It's a distributed ledger. Okay? Most cryptos out there, most trading assets out there are centralized somewhere. And it's usually at the head. And the way they're designed and the way they come together and the way people do it, you end up with a concentration of wealth. Somewhere, somehow down the line, you will end up with a concentration of wealth. You can't do anything else but in proof of work. You can't. You can't. Okay? So, after 3 days, we are emulating being Pi miners as Pi miners. That's it. Nobody says the job has to be hard. Nobody says you have to spend thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to get coin. And it's newly minted coin once a day. It means the coin did not exist. Well, it's not mining, it's minting. It's not mining, it's minting. Give it a rest. The coin, whether you mine it or mint it, okay, mining it isn't making the coin either. Because true mining is you're pulling raw ore out of the earth. But you're not, you're getting Bitcoin. Well, how can you mine a Bitcoin when I have never heard of a coin being mined? Ever. I've never heard of a coin. I've never heard of taking an excavator or pan or whatever and coming up with a coin. I've heard of coming up with nugs and rocks and whatever, okay? Veins and whatever. I've never heard of a coin. A coin has to be minted. It has to be struck somehow. So if you want to split hairs, let's split hairs. Okay? I mean, I've already taken Bitcoin down to its essence. On a basic PC, if you solve the puzzle before everybody else in the network, on a basic PC, you are rewarded Bitcoin. Whatever Bitcoin mining rate is at that point. And it has on so many blocks. But if you solve the puzzle and that goes down and you get the block, you get the coin. Now, the coin is already in the protocol. The coin is already in the protocol. 21 million ever. 21 million ever. It's in the protocol. It's already written. You can't, okay? If those coins exist in the protocol, they exist in the protocol. Right? They exist in the protocol. I solved the puzzle. Where do those coins come from? They're already written in the protocol. They exist. All they're doing is taking it from one location and putting it in another. Mining. Give it a rest. Give it a fucking rest. Okay? It's verbiage. I don't care how you want to stack it up. It's verbiage. Okay? You solve a puzzle. They do it on the block reward. You solve for that block. You win the block. You win the coins for that block. That's all it is. That's all it is. Okay? Pi, you show you're active, you fill these two rows, you show you're active for the day, on 24 hours, you get newly minted coin. We're splitting hairs and we're arguing over something that, it's just, we're still in phase 1, 2, stage 1. We need to get to phase 3, stage 2, and we're still arguing back here. Okay. And I've already conceded to first mobile mining app, but I helped tag first standalone mining app because none of the other ones that are mining on the phone do it themselves. And I was sitting there thinking about MIB. MIB can also, from the same program, can run on a PC. You can run the same program. Well, I don't know whether it's the same program. Yeah, probably, I don't know. But you can mine either way on MIB. Yeah, you can mine on your PC, which is safer. Because you can't mine singly for MIB on your phone. You will burn your phone up. It has to be in a bank of at least 10. Okay. So, all right. They were first mobile mining. They're not a standalone. They can't mine by themselves. I can mine by myself on one. And I'm not MIB. If they tweak their, or whatever they do to get a little faster speed out of it, if they get to a point, even hooked to the 10, they will burn that phone up. And it is recommended through MIB. If you're going to mine MIB on the phone, you better get a second phone and let MIB just mine on that phone. Because you won't be able to use it for your day in, day out transactions. You won't be able to do it for your text messages, your callers, playing games, or whatever. You won't be able to use the phone that you're mining MIB on. You won't. They stated. They stated in their paperwork. I can do all the stuff that I do on my phone in Pi. Without clicking the beat, man. Without clicking the beat. I push the button, Pi's doing its thing. I'm doing whatever else I need to do, whatever work I need to do on my phone. Pi can claim first standalone mobile mining app. So, now, on top of the mining reward, which is base rate, right? That's what All the paperwork has base rate, and it has at the amount of people, and it has that's base mining rate. Right? I mean, that's what's written over here. Base mining rate for those two rows. You get that one. Okay? So let's give mining a rest. Okay. On top of our mining reward, or whatever mining reward, through the ambassador role for each active invite that we have created a pool of pi with that person, just that person. I mean, if you have 10 invites, you have created 10 pools of pi. That over our lifetime, the two of us will draw from that pool once a day and put in our wallet. I'm not exactly sure how it works. I'm not sure how because there's pi allocated out to 100 million people and whatever it is, and that's all part of it. And Core's left out they've left out like one or two key numbers. He's figuring all that, and the reducing function and all. They've left missing numbers out of that equation. Okay. The closest I can come up with, or I'm thinking, is what we get increase per active invite now. It's figured out, whatever it is. Right now we're getting 0.048 for each active invite. Okay. So for each active invite you have, you get this, and whatever it is on 24 hours, you put it together once a day. It'll probably come in with the mining reward. Once a day it gets put in your wallet. Two ways we will be earning pi once a day from the protocol. Once we're off the emulator and the protocol is running pi, it comes off the protocol. Because it's not being emulated anymore, it's actual, it's factual, it's happening. I don't need to worry about how it's going to happen. Core's already figured it out. Why do I need to know how it's going to... I don't need to know how it works as long as it works. In the white paper, when we go phase 3, the faucet gets shut down. That means there's no more pi. There's nothing coming from the faucet. Where's it coming from? It's coming from the protocol. The protocol has taken over. I mean, they started, and the protocol has taken over. And it's running pi. That is pi. Once pi is up and running, there's no way to shut it down. And because Core created it, doesn't mean they're liable for it. Once it's up and running, once pi is up and running, they can't shut it down. Just like Bitcoin. It's the only reason Bitcoin is running, because they can't shut it down. They have nobody to drag into court, and they can't. Okay. Now, China can shut it down. Piss China off, they just shut the nodes down. China, from the last I heard, they control 65 or 70% of the mining farms. They control 65% of the Bitcoin node. You piss China off, and China shuts them 65% of the nodes down. You got them blockchain. And now I don't know about all the forks and stuff that have come off it, but that main blockchain for Bitcoin stops when those nodes stop. Now I haven't looked. I'm just going off of from what I understand. Now, if they've done other stuff to keep other things, that I don't know. But that main one was down. Nodes stop, blockchain stops. Earning off of the block reward eventually will run out, because there will be no more coin in the pool, in the mine, in the whatever, to pay for that. Once that 21st million coin is out, where's the next one coming from? Where's the next one coming from? There's no more. When the pit is empty, the pit is empty. You ain't gonna get any more out of the pit. That's all there is. But that's not my deal. Okay. That's why Core didn't write pi on the block reward. Okay. That's why in the white paper and I hope this is my that Core really looks at this situation. Okay. In the white paper it says nodes would be rewarded the transaction fees once a day. They would share transaction fees across the nodes. And I hope Core does that. And you know, comes up. I've made a suggestion. I'm not going to. Okay, that because I believe the nodes need to have an incentive. They need to have for them to continue to run the nodes, to keep them up to date, to do what they have to do, whatever. They need to have an incentive, even if it's a little bit. They have to have an incentive to run those nodes for now. Maybe not. But if you're not running on a block reward, you will never run out, and you will never run out of transaction fees. Somebody will be making a transaction, collecting a fee, I guess, shared across the nodes. Okay. That's another passive income of Pi for as long as you choose to run the node. Mining reward, referral reward, node incentive. Yeah, we're not getting that. It won't happen now. It can't happen now. Phase. Two different sides of the same project. All of the emulated stuff is going because it can change. When that transition happens and that emulator gets shut down, it's for real. Okay? The protocol is running it. The protocol is doing it. Okay? That's what they're testing now. You know, I hear everybody, you know, they can't do this, they can't do that, it just won't work, it just can't, it doesn't. Okay. Stop, please. You don't have to figure it out. They already did. Now, how they figured it out, you don't need to figure out how they figured it out. They have already figured it out. They're working on making it what it work the way it's supposed to be. Okay? Why they're not telling you or why that is not open source? Because they don't want you in there messing around with it. They don't want to give it out to anybody until it's ready to go. Because right now it may still have bugs and kinks and whatever it is. It has to be sorted out. When it goes from A to B, when B comes up, it has to be. There is no second chance. B has to be right on the first time. And I'm not knocking, I'm not whatever, okay? I understand it being open source to a point. Okay? To a point. But it doesn't have, they don't have to open source it. They don't. Okay, how loud you howl, cry, whine, whatever. Core does not have to open source their protocol, that protocol. They will open source the part that they have used from Stellar because they got it from Stellar. Yeah. Whatever they got from Stellar is what you're seeing. Whatever they didn't use from Stellar, you're not seeing. I would almost guarantee it. Because if what I'm picking up from you from what they're using of Stellar, you're telling me that there's no mining mechanism, there's no trust graph mechanism, there's no, they added a cache system for bottleneck of transactions. None of that is there. None of the payment system that, I just described, it's written. It's written. And it makes sense that what we're doing now, when it switches to the protocol, this stops, this picks up on the 24. It makes sense on how, okay. Whether I see it or not, doesn't matter as long as it's been going in my wallet. I don't care. I don't care. And knowing what I believe I know, what I know about where, I wouldn't, they don't want you in the program. Yeah. Because you're not seeing Pi, you're seeing all this other stuff. And what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to take Pi and make it all this other stuff. It's happening in almost every project out there. That I'm wondering, my question is, I'm wondering how many decent protocols, projects have gotten thrown away, destroyed, not even brought to light of day by you people. And I'm going to say you people. Because you force it to the exchange, you pump and dump it, you do whatever, and you drive it in the shitter, and then you toss it away, and you go to the next one. You've done it over and over and over again. And I know I'm watching you do it, trying to do it in here. Okay. Hopefully, by the time we get to that point, that thinking and attitude and all this other stuff is shifting. Because when we get to this point, when we get to that point, and I believe Core had to change their game plan up to get to here, okay, because of what happened in the inapp transfer. So we're still being emulated. Doesn't matter what goes on this side of the deal. Doesn't. It has. This has nothing to do with that until we get this to that. Okay. This is the goal. This is the achievement to get it to the goal. Okay. So here we go. We're up. The in-app transfer pilot started up, and there's a whole lot of stuff like that. But the pilots that were chosen. No, the whole community knew that you could not trade Pi for cash. You could not trade Pi, and that was 100,000. That was at 100,000 or before. That was from day one when I got here. You could not trade Pi for cash. For any other currency that is trading out on the open market, you cannot trade Pi for. You cannot turn Pi into. It wasn't a few days and a few people. How stupid are you? They signed agreements, they knew what was going on. They knew they couldn't do it. And they thought they were better than everybody else and was going to get around everybody else and do everything the way they wanted to do it. It almost shut the project down. Almost killed it, actually. I think. I mean, when it first happened, it was okay, because, and if you haven't figured out why you can't sell Pi yet, man, if you can't figure out why we can't sell Pi yet, we are in a sorry state. Just as a human race. Yeah. Pi is being emulated. And you still don't understand what being emulated is. Being emulated is monopoly money. It's not even monopoly money. Puff of smoke, there is no Pi. I'm telling you, there is no Pi. If there is no Pi, there is no Pi to sell for any trading currency right now. You can't. Do you know what a fraud is? Do you know what a scam is? I don't know. I really don't know anymore. Saying it for 2 years. There is no Pi. We have no Pi. Not until Core honors our accounts do we have Pi. If we have no Pi, we have nothing to trade or for sell or nothing for cash. If I tell you I'm going to sell you a Pi, and you're going to $5, whatever. Okay, I'm going to give you one Pi, $5. And we make the deal somehow, and you get me the $5. I got no Pi to send you, man. I have no way to send you a Pi. I have no Pi to send you. And if I send you test Pi, all that test Pi gets wiped out. So if you're trying to accumulate and build a stack of test Pi, you're wasting your time, man. It's all going to get wiped out. So if I sent you one, we traded Pi, and I sent you, when that all gets wiped out, that gets wiped with it. Yeah. Now what just happened? I defrauded you. If I don't have nothing, if that happens, if a scam or a fraud happens by one of us, you just kill the project. It only takes one. You just kill, for $1, you would kill the project for not thinking about anybody else yourself. Because that's what happened with them. They didn't think about anybody else but themselves. And when they did, they didn't think about the repercussions of. Okay? The in-app transfer was our job. I will stand by it and believe it until somebody tells me otherwise. And that'll probably never happen because things have changed up and they're not going to look at what. Okay. But if you pencil it out and you draw it out and you write it out and you do everything you need to do to make it, to show it, okay? The inapp transfer started. The pilots were trading pi for goods and services and doing whatever, and it splintered off in a bunch of different deals. Okay? But they have the availability to actually send pi to somebody. No, the pi they're sending is real, and it will add into your total. They have the feature. Core allowed them to have X amount of pi to use to trade for goods and services to get the economy started. And it should have started in that. But when the door got closed, and then they pulled all the pies in and whatever, and there are economies that have started, and I don't want to get into those and whatever it is. They are out there. If you choose to get involved in them, research them, find out what you're getting into before you do anything in them. Because depending on the economy, and depending on what they're doing, you could lose everything. And if you come across any futures markets or anything like that, run the other way. Futures markets, I don't believe will be here with phase 3. Okay? And if the inapp transfer pilot would have gone the way I think it should have went, or haven't this is how I think the inapp transfer pilot should have went. You have 300 pilots doing their thing, making the trades. Yes, now stay inside. Don't worry about who's supplying what and how they're going to supply it and how they're going to cover it and whether somebody's going to come in and buy all the crap. And that's not the issue. That is not the issue. Okay? The issue is making the trades. That's the issue. If somebody, if I'm going to supply goods to the community, so it's not your responsibility to find out how I'm going to keep those goods supplied. It's none of your business. It's none of your business. Flat up, it's none of your business. Okay? Because I figured out it's my business. I don't want you to know my book. I don't want you to know it's my business. No matter as long as I keep goods supplied, it doesn't matter to you how I do it. Whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's none of your business. It's none of your concern or affair how I'm going to supply goods to the community. As long as it's legal, none of your business. You don't have to figure it out for me. I'm smart enough to figure it out for myself. Okay? So, the people that are supplying goods to the community are the ones taking the risk. The biggest risk. Okay? If they don't recover their capital or their whatever it is, they are the ones losing money. All right. They made the choice. Why they made the choice or why they're doing what they're doing and all that doesn't concern me. It's none of my business. None of my business. I mean, I had a pretty good idea if you start thinking about critical thinking. They know, people that are supplying goods know what pi needs to get the economy going. They know. That's why they're doing it. Okay? Man, critical thinking. I can't believe that far out of critical thinking. Anybody opening business has already figured out their profits and loss and their risk to reward and their okay. And if you listen to the people that are behind and doing, you're not hearing exchanges because they know the exchanges will kill what's going on. Yeah. You don't hear the people that are supplying goods. You don't hear them talking about the exchanges. You won't hear them talking about the exchanges, and you better not go to them and talk about the exchanges on the prices you're fighting. Yeah. Because they might come on court on you. They might. You ain't smart enough to figure that out. Go tell somebody that. Go tell somebody that is actually supplying goods to the community. Go tell them what the exchange price is. Yeah. Okay. It can't be 9.50 cents. It can't even be $5. $5 won't be behind it. I mean, my opinion and what I've known, what I've seen, whatever. $10 may or may not. $10 is borderline. $10 is close. I mean, we can't start any lower than 10. Well, that's not what the exchange is going to do. That then what? Don't. If you're looking at the exchange, pack your toys and go home, because it's not the exchange listing we're looking at or needing. It's not. Guaranteed. Because even at $10, not everyone in the community will be able to use what pie they have. $10 they won't be able to do it. One purchase and they're probably broke. That's not the goal of pie. That's not looking to be a daily currency. Daily trusted, usable, safe. No. If now see, when people talk about pie being a pyramid, it's not a pyramid as per se as people at the top getting money from their lower ones, and then the lower ones getting money from them, and the one getting from that. Okay, because the way a pyramid scheme works is there's usually somebody at the top that gets investors on the next tier, sending money up. Those investors get other investors below that. It's like the top guy gets 2, then the 2 get 2, and the 2 get 2, and the 2. Okay, and they're always sending money up. Well, if you've really looked at a pyramid scheme, by the time you get the third layer down, the fourth layer down, okay. Now that's where the scheme comes in. Okay, if that pyramid scheme were to collapse and everybody went and ran for their money, yeah, they'd probably lynch the guy that started it. Okay. But what a pyramid scheme has to do to keep it running is each tier has to get bigger, has to get big enough to cover the debt from above. And somewhere along the line, you run out of tiers. You run out of amount of people to put in the next tier to cover the debt. If you look at any of the stuff being put out on the U.S. economy and the amount of bills being printed and the amount of bills that are out, America, the American government, Federal Reserve, and whoever's all involved in that have been running the biggest Ponzi scheme, pyramid scheme, since World War II. It's catching up. Okay. That's a Ponzi scheme. That's a pyramid scheme. The United States dollar is a pyramid scheme. Pie. Okay. The pyramid I'm talking about in pie is if you look at the amount of people to the having, then the next level, okay, and then the next level, and you look at the havings that went with it, and the people are stretched out. Okay. Right now we are working from 10 million to 100 million. And then before we were working from 10 million to 1 million. Okay. As pilot, and at each level, at each having point, okay. Up at the top, they started at like 6, I think it was 6.4. 6.4 pi mining rate, okay, base rate, plus the referral, I'd have to double it, just double it all the way back to that point. What would be the referral rate that you would get for active referral? Okay. So, as it got to the next halving, the people above dropped down into that level. The earning rate, mining rate, and referral rate went the same for everybody. You go on, you drop down to the next level. Everybody, it dropped, the mining rate and earning rate drops for everybody. But this level got to earn at a higher rate, dropped down to the next level. Now this whole level got to earn at a higher rate, and it dropped down to this level. Then this whole level got to earned at a lower. The above one earned at a higher, drops down, it goes to the lower rate. But before it drops, it's the higher rate dropping down into the next level. But we all drop together. But the people who are at the top have the bigger stacks, but not all of them. Not all of them, because not like me when I joined. I had a hard time inviting anybody. None. I mean, I struggled to invite people. There are people that just have the gift. They can just do it, and it happen. And there are people like that. Then there are people that are in the right position at the right time that were able to pick up teams. Okay? I mean, one of the guys when I first got here, one of the top whales already when I got here, I think he may have been around 400K. Bye. Works at one of the centers, one of the like basketball center, Staples Center, one of the centers, like the Coliseum or whatever, event centers. He works at an event center, controlling the jumbotron. Now, yeah, he's the dude that's doing all the stuff on the jumbotron. Guess where his pie code went? Okay, his pie code was on the jumbotron. So these big venues, yeah, no, these are big whale, okay, and there are a couple others, but that was what was going on when I got here. Okay? I haven't seen him in a long time, but I know he's here. I've seen him every once in a while. I know, and there's a couple of others that I know that come in every now and then. They push the button. They've been here long enough to know, and they have big. They push the button and go about their business. They don't mess with. I mean, there are people like that in here. There are big whales in here that have a few hundred. I mean, yeah, I'm sure. We're probably talking a couple hundred million, or a couple million, or whatever. Yeah, a couple million. I think was that a million? Yeah, they're a couple of million. Might be 3 million, whatever, by this time. Okay. But there are also people from that same group that have only been mining by themselves this whole time, that have less pie than I do, just by mining by themselves. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing. Okay, I'm just saying. Because there's highs and lows, it's not going to matter, because we are all at the same level. Yeah, some of us just have the stacks. But the difference between Pi and like Bitcoin or any of these other coins, this big whale shows he's going to move or flex his muscles or go for. I like calling it go for a swim. This big whale is going to. He's showing he's going to go for a swim. And anybody in the trading industry knows what I'm talking about. If they hear a little rumbling that some big whale is going for a swim, they're lined up, seeing which way he's going, seeing which way to invest, seeing which way they can make the most money. All it takes is one person. That's influencing the price. That is influencing. Okay, how you stack it up, how you look at that. If one person can get the whole investing community on watch, and as soon as he makes a move, they all drop, that's price influence. That is price influence. Okay? Pi, the way Pi is designed, it's leveled the field. The distribution of Pi is as level as it can get. One whale, so what? I mean, when Warren Buffett makes an investment, is it front page news? It may be in some magazine, but you may not see what he did until you get to the stock page and it's at the bottom. Or you may not even know. when these big players move money, okay? When these big players move money, you don't hear about it. You really, I mean, I have my own deal about Tesla and Bitcoin and all this other thing, okay? But ever since then, people will come into Pi and go, we need Tesla, we need this, we need that. No, you don't understand. No, we don't. Don't take me wrong, and I keep saying I respect the man. We just don't need him in Pi. We need him outside of Pi. Yeah, we need him to know about Pi. We need him inside Pi. We need him outside Pi. Why? Yeah. That is why the ads are in place. Chorus for this whole bill this whole time. They, okay. I don't care what you think about what the server costs out, or okay, because if Pi took advantage of old mining rigs and have them set up around the world, they're not running them for nothing. So a $30,000 a month server bill wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't surprise me. Not if these rigs are being taken advantage of. Wouldn't surprise me. Okay. And Pi also needs to fund to phase 3. Pi has to be funded in phase 3. Well, all right. I don't want this to come out wrong. I'm working for the company. I mean, I hired in. I'm working for the company. I'm doing my job. Okay. And for that, I'm getting Pi. And whatever. I'm watching ads and they're getting, okay, whatever they need to get by. They're people too. They need to survive, they need to eat, they need to whatever. Okay? So, personally, I hope they're paying all the monthly bills and there's a little bit left over, that they're getting some for them too, so they can eat, survive, and pay their bills. Okay? It doesn't, man, it's not even worth it. It's not even worth arguing. Because thinking the way that you're thinking is not thinking about others. It's thinking about yourself. And it's thinking about how you would deal with what the situation is. And you would probably steal it, embezzle it, and do whatever, and go off and do whatever you're going to do. Don't lay it on hold. And I say that, and I don't know them personally. I don't know, and hopefully I get to meet them one day. But as long as they're not doing shady today, it doesn't matter. Whatever they may have done, it doesn't matter what they're doing. As long as what they're doing today is what it is. Okay? And because I haven't paid anything into this, I haven't been asked for any info. If they decided to take the ad money and run, shit, take the ad money and run. Because I already know what I gained out of this project, and I haven't lost anything. I have actually gained. Even if I don't make Pi, or Pi doesn't do it, I have already gained from being in Pi. It's not saying I don't want more on it. Yeah, I want to live a comfortable life or whatever. But I'm looking at it from the negative side. Like people, if they take the money and run, then all right, they take the money and run. So okay. For me, I'm okay. I'm okay with the time I spent Pi. I'll go find another project. It's like, this is the only one I hear? No, it ain't the only one I hear. But from what I know of Core, and what I know is written in Pi, no, they don't think that way. They don't, I'm not going to say they don't think that way, but they don't think, they're not thinking that way. Nah. If they were, they wouldn't have written Pi the way they wrote Pi. If they were looking to do that, they wouldn't have written ways into Pi that we all of it, each one of it, gets Pi every day. It may even be, it might just a little bit, but we get Pi every day. People that are looking to run off with the money aren't looking to take care of what should have taken care of them. We didn't. We dropped the ball. Because as the in-app transfer was going, it should have scaled. It should have scaled. Started with 300. If they hadn't done what they did, and we've been going, okay, the economy would have started, the goods and services would have been moving, pie would have been moving. Well, you get another bunch of KYC, you give them the in-app transfer capability, you grow the in-app transfers, it grows, the goods and services grow, the economy grows, it's whatever, you got a smooth eye, you're doing your thing. KYC, you can throw a few more 100,000 in there, whatever it is, and you scale it as a community scale. You can't. Okay. And this is what I saw the other night. I mean, right now, this app is not a world-class digital currency app to show to the public. There's nothing here. There's no flash, there's no glitch, there's no glitter, there's no product. If you have no product, you can't show no product to the public. Yeah. So Core changed their game plan. They had to because we didn't follow through on ours. Because listening to the people, you give some of these people in-app transfer capability today, they will sell it somehow, some way. Not a doubt in my mind. Not a doubt in my mind. After all the talking, all the discussion, all the whatever, that's not the direction Pi is going to go. There are people in here, as soon as you give them the opportunity to transfer Pi, they will try to turn it into cash. Guaranteed. Core can't take that chance. Pi can't take that chance. They can't. They can't. So, here we are. Core they've had to change their strategy to get us to phase 3. Because this way didn't work. And what people don't stop to think or realize is if the community, the economy would have scaled to where we are now, this app would not look the way it looks. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Because most people are doing, okay, they're going to get Pi, they're going to exchange it. Then they're going to buy what they're going to buy, and they're going to bring it back and supply to the community. Doesn't make sense. To me, that doesn't add up. If I'm getting Pi for what I'm selling, and I can take that Pi and I can go next door and get what I need, personal or business, I can get what I need. Okay? I take some of my venture capital and I buy a few more goods and I supply the store. It's a little different. We are just getting started out. This is where I go back to Carnegie and JP Morgan and Rothschilds and all those guys. Okay? We are standing at the same precipice they were then. No, the money's already there. The dollar, Pi is the money. Pi is the money. Pi is to be used as the money. That's Pi's goal, is to be used as money. You take 18 million people, 19 million people, stretched around the globe, trading 24/7, using Pi to trade 24/7. That's an economy. That's probably, with that many people stretched that far around the world, there are some small countries that would love to have an economy that size. But it has no value. You can't buy nothing with it. You can't do nothing with it. Yeah, you're right. I guarantee. Yeah, right now, because it's not live. It's not phase 3. But we have between now and then to give it value. The value will come. The value will come from the last person or the last group of people being able to use their Pi, and what the store owners will accept Pi. That's Pi value. That is Pi value. That wasn't hard to set at all, was it? If they can use it and they accept it, that's Pi value. All I have to do is believe it and do the same thing. It doesn't have to be complicated. There's no reason for it to be complicated. We make it complicated. The more complicated it is, the more loopholes there are in it, the more they can take advantage of us. It's gotta be simple, man. Because the more complicated it gets is written by lawyers to make it complicated, so we can't read it. So we don't see what's going on, what they're doing, because we can't read it or understand it. Simple, man. Simple. Keep it simple. There's nobody that can get in. You can't. If it's that simple, the simpler it is, the less you can break it. There's no loopholes. There's no laws. Okay. The more complicated it gets, the easier it is to break. Don't need to be complicated. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there's other stuff to economy and other stuff to community. I know all that. Starting out, there isn't. If they are willing to accept it at this price, this value, and they can buy at this value, and they can use the price, that value works for them to where they're not wiping out their stack, and we start that's starting the economy. That's economy, and the bigger that economy gets, and the more we're okay. If we right now where I think it needs to be should be where it is, where it starts, because it's low enough, reachable enough, understandable enough, and we can deal with it. That is pie. Now the exchanges will come about. They will. There's not a doubt in my mind the exchange will. But the exchange shouldn't come about until the economy is up and solid. And when I'm talking solid, nothing. Everything is stable. Everybody's the way in America, the way we go around and do business today, whether it's credit card or cash or whatever. We go to Starbucks, we go to Whole Foods, we go to In-N-Out, we go to wherever we go, CVS and all, and we're transferring money for something. That's what has to happen. That when we're transferring money, buying stuff and moving money around, that's economy. That's value. Buying power, value. Exchange is exchange trading price. Now, I believe this can happen because we control the pie. We control all the pie. I don't care how big the supply is. Circulating supply inside of here, I don't care how big it is. Okay. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Because we have Pi blockchain, we have the dApps, we have community, whatever, that will support whatever value we give it. That's the supporting value. Blockchain, dApps, community. And if the store owner, if the store owners, okay, understand that Pi needs to be this value. Because if it's lower than that value, they can't use their Pi. Everybody in Pi needs to be able to use their Pi. That's how the starting base value should be set. Well, no, can't work like that. Can't work like that. Okay. If you start Pi value where you say it should start, Pi's dead, man. If Pi starts less than what I think it should start, if it starts under $100, Pi won't make it. I gotta say it. That's my opinion. And there's a reason why I have that opinion. Okay? Yeah. There's a reason. So, Pi has to be useful. It has to be usable. If it's not usable, nobody will want to use it. And if nobody wants to use it, you have no value because nobody is using it. Okay? Not rocket science. Not rocket science. I know there's a lot of people that disagree, and I've said before, I'm sure there are a lot of people that are saying I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm delusional, and it doesn't work that way, and it doesn't happen that way, and it doesn't. There's no way that can happen, and you just can't make it. You just can't pull it out of somewhere and make it happen. You can. It will. If. Because one last thing I'll let go. Supply and demand. Everybody says supply and demand. Supply and demand. You need supply and demand. You do if you're trading on the exchanges. You don't if you're trading for goods and services. There are fixed costs in goods and services that are there. Trading on the exchanges. The way people make money on exchanges have to be volatile. They have to swing. If they're not swinging, they're not making money. They're not. If they're not swinging, they're not making money. And I need to get you to sell low. I'm going to buy low. I need you to sell low. I'm going to do all the hype and all the. I get into your emotion. I'll do what, and I get you to sell low. I will. I mean, it's happening over and over. It's happened since they learned how to control Bitcoin. And between the hype and what don't buy into the videos that unofficial videos are being put out. But that's exactly what those are. They are the hype, the bling and the blast to get people conditioned, well, that's what pi is going to do. That's all they are. That's all they are. Yeah. It took me that one or two to realize what was going on. That's all they are. They're putting out information that doesn't even go to pi. It doesn't even belong. It doesn't even go. And if you haven't seen in this that pi is not looking to go to the exchanges, then it's on us. And we should have been in it, because if we'd have been doing our part in doing the economy since December of 2019, the app wouldn't look the same. Because there would be more stores, because it would have scaled as we went. There would be more stores, there would be more services, there would be more, and we'd be trading inside the community, around the world, inside the community. People inside the community would see pi being used to buy goods and services, being able to buy something they need and still have some left over. That's what people need to see to change what's going on. So, we have control of that. Okay, when we get the opportunity to do it, we need to do the right thing. Do what we were supposed to. That's our job. That's part of our job. Yeah. We had jobs along the way coming up here. And today adds. The community chose them as a way to help pay the bills and fund pi to the end. Okay? We had a say in it. We had our time to put our words in. Then we voted on it. Okay? If you have a say in it, and you have a vote in it, and you put in your 2 cents and you voted, that's what it is. And whether you agree with the vote or didn't agree with the vote or didn't whatever, that's how we voted. That's where they're at. That's why they're there. Okay. I have no problem, because if you think about it, no other project has funded their program. There's no other project that has used commercial ads to fund their project. Not the way they're being used. Okay. People still don't see it. It was done to keep investors out. Pi doesn't want investors. No. They are the ones creating demand. I mean, you guys, I've heard people talking about it, that big time investors are lining up to wanting to invest in pi when pi goes phase 3. What is that? If somebody is wanting something, and you still have months to go to get there, and they're still wanting it, and all they're going to do is see it growing, they're going to want it more. And they'll let an exchange list it for $1 or less? No. If you have $1 million investors knocking at your door to get your product, and if you don't declare your price, if they're knocking on that door to get your product, and you don't command the price, the value, or price, I'd say price. If you don't command the price for that product, you're giving money. You're giving the shit away. You're giving money away. People are. That's why it doesn't make sense. People are going after the money, but they're giving it away. If you're giving it away, why not? Don't go after the money. Keep it. Okay. Every exchange trade, there are fees involved. Some are going to be higher, some are going to be lower. Depends on the exchange that you're trading on. It depends on how much you're trading. It depends on whatever. Pi transaction fees, or whatever they are, there are still exchange fees that don't. Okay, exchanges don't do it for nothing. People say there are fees one way or another, somehow, somewhere, that will be paid to the exchange to make, because they're providing a service. You have to pay for the service. Okay, so if Pi is not letting you trade on exchange, and I mean, we won't have as much time as what we would have had if we would have built the economy the way it should have been built, when we should have built it. When we get the opportunity to buy goods and services, we need to buy goods and services. If we get the opportunity to buy goods and services, and you go try to sell for cash or hard money, I don't know. I mean, if that's the mentality still going into phase 3, I don't know. I mean, I know it's not my call, but I know it's not my. But knowing the mentality, knowing what would happen, playing out the whole scenario, you just killed it. The sad part is, you killed it. I had no choice over it. If the mentality doesn't change, and the first thing that people do is run to the exchange and let exchange dictate price, and you sell at that price, you've killed Pi. You've killed Pi. You've taken money out of everybody's pocket, and they had no choice in the matter. You know how screwed up that is. One wins, we all lose. We win, we all win. I mean, that didn't sound. I mean, if Pi succeeds, we all win. If Pi fails, we all lose. And if we all lose, it's on us. It's on us. Mm-hmm. We'll be the ones to do it. Wouldn't it be cool? Pi's success depends on us and how we do and handle and go. You need to grow. You need to grow up. You need to see what's going on, and need to get with. Well, I don't want to be brainwashed. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be controlled. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be that. All I can say to that, and all I can say to that response, okay? I am all Pi. I am all Pi. Guaranteed. And if you think I'm brainwashed into Pi, maybe. Yeah. With that, I mean, we need to wake up. We need to do what we need to do to make Pi a success. And that is use Pi to buy goods and services. To believe the value high enough that it needs to be, to use Pi to be able to use for everybody to use. Okay. Once Pi economy is started and the ecosystem is started and we are phase 3, there is no way to shut it down. There is, okay, the wealth and the riches and all that other stuff that you are looking for will be here. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. It can't do anything but. Okay? If we started off on the exchanges and trading on the exchanges, it will never be here. It will never be. It will never be. It can't. It won't. We will never make up that much ground, and it will never be. It will never be able to be used as a means of exchange or the money if it goes to the exchange. Once we have the economy started, once it's going, we have a set value. Okay, when we can turn the tables on big business and command what pi value, what pi price should be, when pi value and pi price match, that's true value. That's true value. And I'm going to go bigger than that. That's true value. When the exchanges and the match, and we will never look back from there. It will only go up. It will only go up. All right, like I said, there's a lot of information, there's a lot of whatever, and I'm hoping it makes sense. I'm getting tired and whatever it is, and okay. You believe what you want to believe. You believe what you want to believe. But before you make that decision, understand what you're involved in, read the white paper, understand what it is, understand what it's trying to do, then form your opinion. If you go off and just form your opinion on opinion, your opinion can be, it's your opinion, it can be whatever it wants. But if you forming an opinion without research or fact or are just bad opinions. All right, you have a good day, and hopefully we got something out of this, and and start going. I want to get involved and help, and I can't. I mean, I'm ready. I want it, but I'm not. So you have to wait. So I'm as anxious as everybody else. I do want to see Pi Phase 3 on the exchanges. I want to see Pi go to the exchanges, but I want to see Pi go to the exchanges on our terms and not theirs. That's the only thing. That's the only difference. Because there's no reason we should be dictated what our value and our price is. I know all of the outside models, and I know all of the outside stuff, and I know all that, okay. I know it all. But that's not where Pi needs to go or wants to go. Okay. So, just, yeah. Think about it. Where Pi goal is, and what we have, okay, we can make it happen. Trust me, we can make it. All right, I'm out, man. You all have a good day.